I would like to introduce our next speaker for the day, Mr. Mayank Solanki, founder of Val-Ed Initiatives. Mr. Mayank Solanki is devoted to finding innovative and impactful ways of building stronger character in children, parents, and teachers. He works with school management, parents, and teachers to understand the needs and develops relevant, creative, long-term programs that build character and improve social, relational, and academic outcomes. May I request Mr. Mayank Solanki to join us on stage and address the gathering. Let's hear it, ladies and gentlemen, for Mr. Mayank Solanki, founder, Val-Ed Initiatives.
Check. Very good afternoon to everyone. आप सब कैसे हैं? Are you good? Chalo, everyone, let's bring a nice smile on our face for a second. And I'm looking at everyone. So sorry. I can use this because he wants to give another award to a person. Till Anil Bhai is organizing for that. कहा जाता है, they say, हंसते हंसाते सब कुछ प्राप्त किया जा सकता है. What that means is, through smiles and by making someone smile, everything can be achieved. Do you remember using this technique in your school? That when a child is very upset, you try to make them फुसलाते हैं उसे, right? We try to make them change their mood, distract them, because through that we can achieve a lot of these things. And I think we also celebrate that kind of a spirit in the educator who's going to be coming on board. So from a speaker, I've also become an MC host right now. I'll give it to you. Go ahead, please.
Well, we would like to quickly give away an award under the Dynamic Schools 2024 presented to Freedom International School, HSR Layout, Bengaluru. Thank you so much, ma'am. Over to you, Mr. Mayank.
Without any further ado, right? Very fortunate that I have a chance to be over here in front of all of you and to share something that I'm deeply passionate about, and I have been since probably the age of 9 years of age. The three words which you see over here are something very close to me: achai, sachai, and uchai. Three things which I really believe that all of us want to bring into our children, and how we are doing that as an organization is something that I'd like to share with all of you over here. So, before I even begin, generally people have this towards the end, but I'm going to say that these are the kind of people and the ones who trust us, right? This is the kind of difference they see in their children, in their teachers, in their parents by the work that we do with them. And I really believe that the building of character, the inculcation of positive human values is something core to all of you. How many of you believe that before you make your child a good collector, a good director, a good engineer, the first thing you want to make your child is a good nar and a good nari? Do you agree with that? A good human being? Is that something which is the core of what you're working on? If yes, raise your hand. So every single person has that dream. That's what you started out as educators for, right? And that's something which I'd like to ask you first. Is your school nurturing future leaders with strong values, or somewhere have we got stuck with that? Now, everyone over here has a thing that, of course, my school is nurturing people with good, strong values. But wanting to do something is very different from actually being able to do it. And this sometimes it helps to have a partner whose every single day and breath focus is about building of these values. And how we do this is very, very interesting. Because one thing that we really believe in is that value education is key to success beyond academics. And it's no longer an option. It's the top parental priority, at least of this generation of parents. It's something which reduces teacher stress. It's something which improves student behavior and so many more things. Imagine if someone said to you that my dream is to nurture the next Abdul Kalam in your school, or the next Sudha Murthy in your school, or the next Mother Teresa in your school. Wouldn't all of us love that our school gave birth to this next great leader? Talking about Sudha Murthy, how many Sudha Murthy ma'am fans over here? A lot of you. Would you like to listen to her? Great. Can you have the video, please? You'll love listening to this.
It gives me a great pleasure to come to the school, because normally We get lot of invitation. Our foundation gets 5,000 to 6,000 invitations in a year. But I choose the school where something is new. I would like to come and visit. Their idea, it really appealed to me. For a teaching family, a new idea, a good school means a lot. And this kind of a labs are needed in every school, I say, in Karnataka. Every school. And of course, I will talk about it irrespective of the government. I will talk to the Department of Education. This is a good lab. Come and see. Come and see such kind of lab, even in government.
Okay, let's stop the video here. Values are. So, Sudhamam is talking about some sort of a lab. She's talking about some sort of a space. Would you like to see the space that she recommended to the government of India, saying that every school should have a space like that? Okay, so this is now in front of you. Imagine if you had in your school the most unique, the world's first values infrastructure. If I took one classroom of your space and I created a space which looks like this, where every single space can be used by a teacher to create a superior experience for teaching values, life skills, and social emotional learning. And here's something I want to request. If you like what you're seeing over here, I encourage you to take photos. I encourage you to take videos. I'd love for you to be able to take this conversation back to your schools, to your teachers, to your owners. And if you really resonate, I'd love to have the conversation after that as well. Depending on the kind of age that we have in front of us, we make different kinds of lab. Like for example, you see that bridge over there? We call that as a scribble bridge, where students stand on the other side and they use that for brainstorming. The girl who's sitting behind over there, standing behind over there, she's standing on a place called the affirmation space, where there's a word called I am, and every single day, students learn how to affirm themselves and to make that into a habit. Every week, a child gets a chance to be over here in this kind of a space. Imagine if you had storytelling corners like this, which you could use and your teachers could use. What if you had core values of your school written on walls which makes them a part of their ethos? What if you had values meter and counseling pods as well? And this is one of our outdoor labs being built in Raipur right now. We are revolutionizing how Indian schools look, feel, and heal. It's a good question to think. How do my schools feel? How do my schools heal? And for some reason you said that, Mayank, maybe one classroom is very difficult for me to give. What if I said I could give you small structures? What if you could have a small giving area in your school, where children learn the art of compassion, giving, donation? What if you had a gratitude wall in your school? This is the one which Sudhamam was writing a beautiful note on as well. What if in your school you had a beautiful forgiveness pond? What if in your school you had a de-stress area? We all have children who become very hyper, very high emotion, they're not able to control. What if they had a multi-sensory area which actually teaches them to do that? What if in your school, even restrooms could be converted? You know why? You know why restrooms? Because when a child is extremely upset, when a teacher is extremely upset, that's where they go, so that they're able to let go of that emotion. These are a kind of mirrors that we put in our spaces, which reminds them, it's okay, this too shall pass. So, we have 50 different options that you can consider and doing it. But here's my killer point. You could have the world's greatest infrastructure, greatest books, greatest labs, every single thing. None of that is going to matter if no one wants to go inside that lab. Do you agree? Which means curiosity is more important than the book. And we have a program called Saksham. How to make our children capable of life, capable to reach the highest. And here's the one thing which I've really learned over the last period of years, and I'm sure you'll agree. Raise your hand if you agree with me. Do you agree that we need a program which just doesn't teach children? Today, values education is needed for teachers, parents, and adults more than children. Do you agree? And this is a program which will unify that entire effort. I'm not trying to create a classroom of values. I'm trying to create a culture of values. And that's the only way we'll be able to move progressively together ahead. So, what exactly can you expect in this? Right from 3 years to 18 years of age, irrespective which board you're from. right? If you want to create an experiential learning and a reflective learning space for them, where everyone learns to have conversations on values, because it's such a personally held thing, this program will help. And I want to show you how this is a seismic advancement from traditional moral science classes that we used to have anyway. Do you remember those classes when we were in school, moral science classes? Now, we didn't care too much about it. It was a graded subject, if you remember, right? But now, after 30 years or 40 years of life, I think all of us realize one thing. Yaar, sabse zyada important wahi tha. That's the one thing which made a difference in our lives. So, how do we approach it? One of the objectives that we are trying to achieve is achai, sachai, and uchai. Empatheticness, goodness in our children, a sense of success. Because children will not want to listen to values if it doesn't make them successful in life. And if they have both of these things, they have to use that to reach the fullest extent of life, which is flourishingness. So we believe our program is attempting to attempt this. What if you had a curriculum which was not a textbook-based one? It is not printed at all, right? What if I told you that there are beautiful frameworks and you could choose for every single grade, I want this to be taught, I want this life skill to be taught, I want to be taught in this manner. You get to create this kind of an experience for your school. What if I told you, outside of this classroom, once a week, I could have beautiful values-based assemblies which your children themselves will perform? What if they made project-based learnings where they did sustainable school gardens, they had voter drives, they had awareness campaigns? What if in your school, there was a beautiful journal, not a textbook, a journal to capture their learning so you and your parents know what they're learning about? What if there was a 360-degree assessment of not only students, but also teachers and parents to know how they journey, and a pre and a post, so you know, beginning of the year, where they stand, end of the year, where do they stand? What if beyond all of this, I give an example. We said that we want to involve students and parents in it, right? I'll give an example. You see this event in front of you? This is a parent who's speaking blindfoldedly with her daughter's friend. Aksar, when you speak to someone else's daughter, you realize what your daughter is going through. And when you speak to someone else's parent, you realize what your parent is going through. We do these kind of events every 2 months in our space. I'll give another example, right? This is an example called Stoga, storytelling and yoga together. So trying to bring the message of fitness, of consciousness, of awareness through these spaces. For teachers, we have gamification methods called Game of Thrones, which also brings values-based living inside their lives. What if your children could participate in a short film competition called India 2047, where they're imagining what India will look like in that. And these are real, images. In fact, HRD is from Hyderabad itself, which has created this kind of a movie. And there's a mix of countries' movies around it. This is Kidzonia from Hyderabad again. What if you had India-Pakistan youth dialogues that your children could get that exposure to? You see, values is no longer about telling them stories. It's no longer about doing small little activities in the classroom. It's about giving them exposure, which brings humility in them, which gives them excellence, which inspires them to be righteous and responsible from inside. But all of that begins when the culture of your school works. So if someone works right from the student, parent, teacher, peon, staff, and management, then this makes a huge difference. I'll conclude now because my time is up. Imagine if your teachers, all your teachers, went through special trainings. Your education, your value specialist educators have a different training. Your academic teachers have a different training. Your management have a different training. How would that look like? What if your parents had values-based parenting sessions, positive parenting sessions across the year as well? What if they could have values trips, 2 days of screen-free, junk-free experience? How would that feel for a student? What if your students had master classes by someone like Sudhamurthy ma'am or Mary Kom? So, to manage all of this, we also provide an entire system, completely transparent, so you know what has been done, what has happened, and how things are moving ahead from there. So this is how your teacher gets the lesson plans to deliver. This is how, as a management, you can see what's happening grade-wise and teacher-wise. And this is how your parents can also see what my children are learning. We will do whatever it takes to create the next generation of wonderful human beings who are not only good at heart, but have the skills to be able to do something wonderful. So if you feel that you see in our organization the association which might help bring this environment to you, we would love to create that as well. On all of your tables, my lovely colleague has given one interest form. If you feel that, yes, I want to have a conversation, do fill that up. And on top, there's a small gold box. Write your favorite number. Because with your favorite number, I'll be able to find you as well. So that interest form is my way of knowing that. We'll collect it probably half an hour from now. Before I go, I probably just want to make you smile again, because I said through smile everything can be possible. We have Anu ma'am over here, Manila ma'am over here, both mother figures to me who have guided me all my life over here. Rukmini ma'am is here as well. They say कि ना ज्ञान दो, ना भाषण दो, क्योंकि अभी खाने का समय है, हमें राशन दो. और अगर राशन ना दिया, तो बाबू तुम्हारा आसन दो. All of you look so nice. You look so nice. I'm sorry, just the last 30 seconds. You look so nice smiling. आप मुस्कुराते कम हैं. And that's something that we have to bring back to our schools, to our own lives also. But it starts all with us. And I'd love to be part of that process in some way or the other. Thank you so much, Anil, and the entire team for creating such a wonderful space over here. I might not be a loudspeaker, I might not be a jazzy speaker, but definitely, कहा जाता है, दिल की बातें दिल तक पहुँचती है. So I really hope that something from my heart reached you as well. Thank you so much.
Well, that was Mr. Mayank Solanki. Thank you so much, sir. I would request you to remain on stage and would invite Mr. Anil Sharma to please join us on stage to felicitate Mr. Mayank Solanki, founder Val-Ed Initiatives. Let's hear it for him, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Mayank.